Okay, here we're going to set up a Panasonic network video recorder on the recorder side to accept alarms for motion detection. Now remember, we've already set up the motion detection in the camera, so you want to see the video on setting up motion detection in the camera. I'm going to go to the IP address of the recorder. In this case, it's 192.168.1.250. And it comes up with my username and password. The default for Panasonic is capital ADMIN12345. If that's been changed, you need to use the login that lets you into the admin rights so that you can get into setup. So we're going to go into the setup, and the first thing we want to do is go to events, and under event we want to go to our site alarm, and we're going to go into our site alarm and we're going to turn these on. Now you'll notice this port says 1818, and that is the same as the port that we're sending that alarm down from the camera. So if you watch the camera setup, you'll see that that's 1818 as well. And then here it's just basically already set up for us. Camera 1, if it gets motion, is going to record camera 1. We could send that to an output terminal on the back if we wanted to send that alarm on. And then if it was a pan-tilt zoom camera, we could also set a preset position for that camera to go to. So we'll hit set here, and now our site alarm is turned on. So now we want to go to our actual schedule, and we want to click the daily or whatever schedule we're using. You'll see here I've got basically just a 24-hour schedule, and I'm using program number 1. I want to, on program number 1, accept the Panasonic alarm protocol. So I'm going to turn that to on. And then here is alarm messages. This would basically pop up a message and tell you that it just saw an alarm on that camera during motion detection. I usually turn that off because that can get annoying. You can imagine if you have multiple cameras always seeing motion, that's just going to keep popping up a little teeny web page like this telling you that it just saw an alarm. But you could use that if somebody wanted to be notified. So now I'm going to turn that on. So now I have that. Now I want to tell the camera how I want to record. So I'm going to go into program number 1, which is the program we're using 24 hours. And it's camera number 3 that I set up the motion in. So right now we're just time-lapse recording all day long. So I can turn that off because I don't want to record except on motion detection. And now you'll see my pre and post event area in my event recording. So my rate, or how fast I want it to shoot pre-event, in this case it'll be 15 images per second. I am using JPEG. If you're using MPEG, you're only going to see all and iframes. So remember, your iframes are the individual JPEG images that are being shot, and then your all would be everything including the changes as well. So you can see that under the setup of compressions for Panasonic cameras. My pre-event duration, I want it to be 2 seconds. In this case, you can make it anywhere from 2 seconds to 15 minutes. This is how much video I'm going to capture before the motion detection actually went off. So I have a little bit of pre-motion to see what was going on. And then here on my post-event, I've got a rate. So I'm going to put all because I've got 30 images per second on the JPEG turned on. And then here is the duration of after it sees the alarm. So after the alarm is done, how long is going to record after that time? And here I'm going to set it to 10 seconds. The reason they give you this time for duration before and after is to help with, on the post anyway, it's to help with if somebody's going to set off an alarm and then go out of the field of the camera, they mill around for a couple seconds and then they come back in. If you keep this on a little bit higher time, it won't keep opening indexes to the drive. It would just continue along with that motion as though it was one continuous motion. The pre-event is if you were trying to record an area and you thought the object might be too small, you could set up this duration to be longer so that once the motion set off, it could go way back in time and grab, you know, up to 3 minutes, so that you could see that person walking across a field or something like that before they set up motion. So now I have my pre and post event alarm set up, and I'm going to hit set. And I'm not going to do a measurement on this bandwidth, but we'll set that up. So now this camera number 3, is not recording anything but motion detection. So my motion detection is set up now. And if we go back to the control page and jump out of setup, we can see, if we look at our all list, and watch this. So now you can see that the camera was scheduled to record. And now I'm going to go set off this motion detection. Let me bring up camera 3 for you so you can see when I wave my hand in front of it. And then that is going to be what it is that we record. So now we've triggered our alarm. If we notice up top here, we do have an alarm that's been triggered. You will notice, obviously, if you have a lot of cameras on motion, this alarm is always going to be on, just because you're going to have all those motions coming in. I can turn this off now because we only have this one camera on motion and there's no motion in front of it. If I refresh this so that we can see what just happened, now we can see we have where we turned off the schedule, and now we have a pre-event and a post-event of that camera. So if we click on that, we see the 2 seconds before the alarm, then we see the motion detection, and then it counts down the 10 seconds after. And that's now accepting motion detection from that camera. But remember, you also have to set up the motion detection in the camera to send that alarm to the recorder. If you watch the camera setup that I did when I told it what IP address to go to, I've got this coming into the camera port. My camera port is 192.168.0.250, and that's where I got that IP address to send that alarm to.